Yasier. Nabil.
Yo.
Do you know what is fiqh? What does fiqh mean? I forget.
Fiqh refers to understanding of Islamic law based on Quran and Sunnah, guiding Muslims in their daily life. The sources of fiqh are the foundation or the reference used by the scholars to derive Islamic rulings.
Oh, I see. I understand now. So that is the meaning of fiqh. So how about during the Prophet era? What are the sources of fiqh involved? Wait. Before you answer, this place actually kinda noisy. Let's go to another place, jom. Now that there's no people here, answer my question. What are the sources of fiqh during the Prophet period?
That's a very good question, Rosyad. During the time of Prophet Muhammad SAW, the main sources of fiqh were the Quran and the Sunnah. The Quran was revealed gradually to guide Muslims in all aspects of life, and whenever a new issue appeared, Allah sent down revelation to explain the ruling. The Sunnah complemented the Quran, and it showed how the Prophet and applied those teaching in daily life, such as how to pray, fast, or solve disputes.
Oh, I see. Now I understand. So during that period, is there any ijtihad during that period? Because you said earlier about Quran and Sunnah. So is there any ijtihad during that period?
It's a very good question again, Rosyad. At this stage, there was no need for ijtihad or reasoning, because the Prophet himself was the final authority. The companion could directly ask him for rulings, and his answer became law. So, the fiqh during this era was simple and direct, and fully based on divine revelation, focused on building faith and unity among Muslims.
Oh, I understand now. So during the Prophet era, there's no need for ijtihad. Okay. Thank you, Nabil, for explaining it to me.
No problem, Rosyad. But after the passing of Prophet Muhammad SAW, Muslims no longer receive direct revelation from Allah. If I'm not mistaken, during this time, the responsibility of making legal decision was taken over by the Khulafa Rashidin. Then, what is the sources of fiqh during Khulafa Rashidin era?
That's a very good question, Nabil. But I'm thirsty right now. So, let's go get water first. Interesting.
Kepala sahaja.
Kalau sahaja ni? Wah, aku boleh untuk anda. So you asked earlier, right, about the sources of fiqh during the Khulafa Ar-Rashidin era. So after Prophet Muhammad SAW passed away, the prominent companions Abu Bakar Siddiq, Umar Al-Khattab, Uthman bin Affan, and Ali radhiyallahu anhu, they continue the responsibility of implementing Islamic law in resolving issues and establishing rulings. They rely on several main sources of fiqh. So, what are the sources of fiqh? The first sources of fiqh is the Quran. So, this is the primary and the highest source of law. All legal decisions, had to be based on the Quran first. They would not make decisions that contradict the Quran. For example, as the Quran, during Khalifah Abu Bakar As-Siddiq ruling, he used Surah Taubah verse 103 to enforce zakat and to confront those who refuse to pay it. So that's for the Quran. Then for the second one, which is Sunnah or Hadith, which is the prophetic traditions, which mean an action done by the Prophet and saw by the companions. So when there was no clear evidence in the Quran, they referred to the Sunnah of Prophet SAW. The companions, they would consult each other to verify whether the Prophet had addressed the matter or not. For example, wait, I try to remember. For example, during Khalifah Umar Al-Khattab would sometimes gather companions, companions here, companions there. He would gather them. Then, when they gather them, they would meeting to ensure a hadith was authentic or not before using it as a legal basis. So that's for Sunnah. Now, the third one is ijma' of the companions, or in a fancy way, consensus. So, as for ijma', when a matter had no clear text in the Quran, in the Sunnah, both of these no clear text, right? The companions would consult each other and reach a collective decision. For example, during the compilation of the Quran, during Abu Bakar radhiyallahu anhu caliphs, it was based on an agreement of the companions. So basically when So basically during Khalifah Abu Bakar reign, he want to compile the Quran. So he called all the other companions, come here, then he asked for an agreement to do it. So this is an example of ijma'. This ensured that the rulings made are consistent with the spirit of Islam and not made individually. So for the fourth one, this is qiyas, analogy, qiyas. So qiyas is used when there are no explicit evidence from the Quran, from the Sunnah, from the ijma'. This involves comparing a new matter to an existing ruling based on the same legal cause, which is called illah. For example, during Umar radhiyallahu anhu's reign as a Khalifah, he applied the same ruling for intoxicating substances as he did for alcohol. Because why? Because both of these things cause intoxication, which basically means like it makes people go high. Go high like that. Now for the last one, number 5, is ihtisas, or we call it public interest. So occasionally, sometimes the companions they exercised ijtihad based on public welfare. For example, during Umar radhiyallahu anhu's reign as a Khalifah, he suspended the hudud punishment for a moment, specifically for theft, because during that time, if I'm not mistaken, the people steal because they are hungry and because they are poor. So he suspended the hudud punishment for a second, so that the law would be fair and just in real life circumstances. So in conclusion, the era of the Khulafa ar-Rashidin shows how Islamic fiqh developed systematically on divine guidance. Not personal desires. So the orders of fiqh sources they use can be summarized as: the first is Quran, then Sunnah, then Ijma', then Qiyas, then Ijtihad. So this demonstrate that their legal decision were based on revelation and the welfare of the Muslim community, not on individual whims. So do you understand?
Okay. That's a very good explanation, Rosyad. By the way, I got a flower. This is for you.
Wish for me. I take it lah. Very unique flower. Beautiful. I like it.
Okay, stop.
Tanya.
Are you sure, Rosyad?
Exercise. You tak game kau. Wah, mati tu. Wait, look.
Okay, slow mo.
Welcome.
Rosyad, what are you doing here? It's like you are eating Maggi early in the morning.
Oh, how could you tell? Yes, I'm eating Maggi right now. Hey, Muaz, I'm actually curious, you know. Just now I talked about Khulafa ar-Rashidin sources of faith. How about the empire after that? The Umayyad Empire. What are their sources of faith? Mind telling me?
Oh, the Empire of Umayyah. During the Empire of Umayyah, The Islamic Empire expanded to many new regions. This brought new cultures and legal challenges that required scholars to use more reasoning in Islamic law. The main sources of fiqh were still the Quran and Sunnah, but scholars also used ijtihad, qiyas, istihsan, and urf to solve new problems. Judges were appointed to apply Islamic law, and different regions developed their own methods. For example, Madinah relied on hadith, while Iraq used more reasoning. Scholars like Imam al-Zuhri began collecting hadith to preserve authentic teachings. This era made fiqh more organized and practical, and it became the foundation for madhab form in the Abbasid era. That's all. Just a simple thing, Rosyad.
Oh, it's very easy about Umayyah. Thank you, Muaz.
No problem. You're welcome, Rosyad.
Meja dia punya
Wow, I'm washing my hand just now.
Oh, you were washing your hand. But why were your face also wet? Weird, right, Muaz? Eh?
Hey. Hi. Hi guys.
Hi.
So, since we already discussed about the sources of fiqh in the Prophet Muhammad era, Khulafa Rashidin, and Umayyad era, but do you guys ever curious about what is the sources of fiqh in Abbasid era?
I forgot to ask Muaz earlier.
Oh, no worries. I can explain about the sources of fiqh during the Abbasid period. The Abbasid period marked the golden age of Islamic civilization when knowledge and scholarship reached their peak. The Abbasid period began under Caliph Abu al-Abbas. This is the time when the rulers encouraged shura and debate new issues. Scholars were respected and supported by the rulers, which allowed fiqh to be developed rapidly. Also, during this time, the main sources of Islamic law were defined clearly, and scholars and schools of Islamic were established. Now, I would like to explain about the primary sources of fiqh during the Abbasid period. The first primary sources is Al-Quran. The Quran remained as the supreme source of Islamic law. It was regarded as the foundation of Islamic legal thought as it direct words from Allah. Scholars of the Abbasid era studies the Quran to interpreting and applying the Quran's teaching to realities of their time. The next primary sources is Sunnah. The Sunnah served as the second source of law, clarifying and complementing the Quran. During the Abbasid period, Hadith scholars collected, verified, and classified narrations to separate authentic ones from weak ones. Major complications such as Sahih al-Bukhari. This compilation made it easier for jurists to refer to reliable sources and deriving legal rulings. The third one is Ijma'. Ijma' means the agreement of qualified scholars on a certain legal issues. Under the Abbasids, scholarly institutions and centers like Baghdad, Kufa, and Madinah allowed greater communication, leading to more organized consensus. Rulers often consulted scholars for advice in legal administrative matters, reflecting the practice of shura. The fourth primary sources of fiqh is qiyas. Qiyas means extending an existing ruling from Quran or Sunnah to a new case, because both share the same effective reasons. This method became essential for solving new issues that arose due to empire's expansion. Scholars like Imam Abu Hanifah and Imam al-Shafi'i refined qiyas into a structured tool of reasoning. The example is the prohibition of drugs, analogy to alcohol, because both cause intoxications. Now, I would like to explain about the secondary sources of fiqh. The first one is istihsan. Used mainly by the Hanafi school, it allows choosing a ruling that leads to justice and erase rather than straight qiyas. For example, allowing pre-order contracts and in construction even though the object does not yet exist. The second one is maslahah mursalah, recognized by Imam Malik and later scholars. It refers to adopting rulings that protect public welfare and prevent harm, provided they do not contradict the Quran or Sunnah. The example is compilation of the Quran into one mushaf to preserve it. The third one is istishab. Istishab is the principle that an existing legal status continues until proven otherwise. Example, a person is considered ritually pure until there is evidence of impurity. And the fourth one is urf. Urf is customary practice accepted by society as long as they do not contradict Sharia. The Abbasid Empire was diverse and scholars accepted local custom in areas like trade and marriage. This made Islamic law adaptable to different religions. That's all about the sources of fiqh during the Abbasid period.
Wow, what an explanation by Yasier, though. This is a flower for you.
Thank you.